Hello, I like difficult games, but the truth is if a game has a difficulty level called hard and thin and you just got to be me right now, I'm gonna be happy camper and Cuphead tries to do just that. It is a thumb busting up to two-player side scrolling shooter and it asks the question what if you mix 1913's visuals with the requirement for crackerjack timing and then slash red. It is all on time period correct music. Well, let's sit down and see shall we. Cuphead will be out later today for $19.99 for the Xbox One and PC. As always, if you like the video, maybe subscribe. So here's my review for Cuphead 2 players. One cup looks can be the saving and the good old days of digital pad thumb blasters. Graphics are up first. One word of gaming warning before we begin to keep reviewers from posting entire sections of the matter streamers. The NDA was incredibly restrictive for content shown until the game's sexual release, and this is prior to it, so I will do my best to describe some elements that you will actually be able to see later and other footage first of all. I have to say this is aimed for 1913's cartoons, and holy crap did this actually hit it, and I don't mean by a little bit, I mean looks like they sat down and ate that test, then came back and rewrote it again from the static overlays and damaged film processing effects, all the way to the two robbery to really hold someone up animation of a character's legs as they bring down the heart on you. Cuphead delivers from start to finish. It's interesting to me that there is something that's so important yet does not actually hit for a lot of games, and of course that's personally, and this is a game about two dudes with cups for heads. Now if you told me about that a while ago and I had not seen the game, I would have thought it was a fried cup and noodles commercial. Instead you have this almost cereal and its slickness kind of style, and that is not just a play on word because Cuphead is about warped work like those old cartoons used to be. I mean, let's be honest, we watched those as kinds and we loved and we thought it was hilarious. As an adult, you can see someone getting scanned or lit on fire in a cartoon and you start looking for BBC cameras, but in Cuphead one of the reasons why it's so well done is because everything fits together. The characters are lined shaded just enough to break them apart from some fairly lavish backgrounds that look like to have a watercolor style to them, and that's all faded and depleted and it looks like it's been sitting in some cartoon artist for 16 years. And with a game like this, especially one this difficult, you really do have to give information to the player, and really Cuphead for the most part does that to form the slight bend of a giant crappy blue monster's arm as he punches possible above your head, leaving you this point where you can look and go, I bet I can hide that to the motion lines that you leave behind as you. The game is easily one of the prettiest titles this generation as well, and that's no joke. From moment to moment and moment, and there's just something awesome to see in the excellence in the execute. Here's everything combines together, from enemies that explode in big thunderous white clouds with lightning bolts coming from them, the game's incredible overland map. It all feels like it exists together in one perfect world, and of course all this world fell apart and the performance wasn't up to snuff, but thankfully it runs at 16 FPS perfectly on the Xbox One and on the PC. Runs pretty much at whatever you want, including of course 4K, and it is actually within the reach of pretty much anyone who has a GPU from this generation or last. To me honestly, Cuphead is a complete and utter work of art, sound, music and voice. Mr. King, and you know what, let's do sound first. It's actually something that is easy to rate, but it's really hard to explain to people. The game's sound is done in a way to mimic old cartoons, and that sound design does not lend itself well to the over-top sonic antics of today's normal games. Just an FYI to anybody who is expecting that. Know that being said, I personally loved it, from the pop of balloon animal heads to the death of flying wolves. It's all handled incredibly well for the time period, regardless if it's actually pleasant to our ear for a current gamer, but if you listen closely there's information to be gleaned, and trust me, every little bit helps. I think a lot of players would have liked a more painted and critically synced representation of the main character's attack. This is a complaint that has been lodged before, but make no mistake, that's done for a reason. And once you outfit yourself with a large number of specials or take and biplanes into enemy's fortress or fell crazy crap happening, you will realize that a lot of the work hides in the ID kit. The sound effects work really well, but your village will probably wear music, so this is back in a time when no one wondered if a trumpet could lead, and the entire song and the entire title is richer for it.